finally making progress on my book. Well, it's God's book, but I've spent the past 4 weeks figuring out or thinking about, the face of God and, the verses in Revelation which say that, they'll see his face and his name will be in their foreheads. And then the other verse that says, hide me from the face of God, which really just puts people in two positions, two camps, I guess. Those who, want to see the face of God, and those who want to hide from the face of God. And the issue is, for those people who, let's say, don't believe in God, that's tough, because it's like, well, I don't want to see the face of something I don't believe in. And it's kind of scary, because it really rocks the foundation of your belief, that there is no God. Because someone's like, this is how you do it. You want to see it? There you go. So there's that. Second thing is, for those who, expect to see God's face, have been expecting to see God's face, but when they read the first version or the first story, first of many stories, what they were expecting in terms of the content of the story will also rock their beliefs as well. I mean, everything matches up from a prophecy standpoint and, solves the mystery of God and everything, but it just wasn't what they were expecting. It wasn't what I was expecting either. So you'll have people that'll have to battle through that. And then you have, I guess, some people who, I don't know, it's really just a decision people have to make on their own. And I guess, to either see his face or to hide from it. I was digging into the scripture that says, this is all from Revelation, that says, what is it? See his face or hide from it. So if you believe in, God, if you're a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or a Hindu, if you're a Christian, I lost my train of thought. What was I thinking? Oh yeah. You believe that your belief in Jesus as the Messiah, that belief alone gets you into heaven. And the scripture in Revelation says that, and I'm sorry, also in 1 Corinthians says that for those of us who are alive and remain, we'll be called up to meet him in the air and then sort of changed in the twinkling of an eye. We'll see, because God allowed his face to be seen in 2018, and now finally, the story to be written and told for other people to then confirm the experience by them seeing the face of God as well. Because this happened is happening when you're alive, anyone who's dead now who believed in, Jesus as Messiah, they're off the hook, because when they died, their first death, when they, died on this earth or whatever, their belief in Jesus, they're all set. But being alive now, because seeing the face of God resurrects a prophet from the past, Christ being the first fruits. Since I saw the face of God last year and you're alive at this cool time, it doesn't matter if you believe in the Christ that is dead. It matters if you believe in me. And if you believe in me, not as Jesus Christ, but as the Lion, my new name, which I was assigned when I saw God's face, and Jesus' new name, which he was assigned as I saw God's face, and he, how do I say this? I resurrected him. His soul descended on me. They call it a tzedek in Hebrew. But because I triggered that, and you're alive at this time, whether you believe in the Christ who's dead from Scripture 2,000 years ago is irrelevant. It's about what you do now. So you either believe in me and see the face of God, or you reject me and you after you die, you will burn in hell forever. Let's hope you believe in me, because you can't get to the Father without coming through the Son, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Anyway, I'll be explaining this in the book too. So it's a cool time to be alive. And what also is cool is if you never believed in Christianity, or any religion for that matter, doesn't matter. If you believe in me enough to not listen to what I'm telling you in terms of how to live your life, but to understand the process at which you can see the face of God, which you'll find out in the book, then doesn't matter what you believed before, you stand to inherit the earth. And what that means is next July 20th, 2020, as we discard our broken socioeconomic system, which has led to the existential threat of extinction via climate change, and also nuclear war between, the U.S., Iran, and whatever other countries get involved over the next 355 days or so. But we discard that and instate a new system, which is not man-powered, but divinely powered. And all it is us as humans running around the world, going to and fro, recording our journeys, as we individually, in our own turn, see the face of God, which will match you with another prophet from the past, someone worthy, who's found in the Book of Life. It matches you with them at the moment you see the face of God, and you get a name too. Your name will be different than the Lion. It will be something else. All I did was trigger this, for the first time. So I'm including this stuff in the book too. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, and I also thought about, how am I doing on time? 9 minutes, wow. I also thought about, the sort of, your story will be heavy on the details when you first begin to live through it. So you can't just write your own story in the Bible. You've got to live through it, and you're recording the events as they happen. But it'll be heavy on the details when we read your story at first, because as the audience, we have to see all the components, not all the components of your personality, but the themes in your personality and your experience on this earth that God is working with to take you from where you're at currently to where your own, they call it a little mansion in heaven, I think somewhere in the New Testament. But it's, you're not there in this perfect, mansion or whatever. You're not there yet. It's okay. I wasn't there either. My story tells you all the details why I wasn't there in the beginning. And you don't just get zapped into it. You have to live through it. You go from where you're at now, right, by taking different steps which are powered by God. You don't know what they are. See, you think maybe your mansion's over here, but God knows, nope, this is it. This is the perfect one. So it's about you taking the steps like a little child and recording by writing, but mainly by recording with video, your journey to that place right there. And because you're, let's see, you're not adhering to a flawed socioeconomic system during this process, it's a very cool period to be alive because we all kind of get a pass. Because you're discarding that system completely, God starts to supercharge things in your surroundings based off you taking the forward steps. And he's writing a screenplay, his story. It's your story because you're living through it, but you're just reporting it. He's the one who's writing it. And because you've discarded a broken socioeconomic system that was man-made, that led us all into, well, we have anxiety, depression, disease, famine, natural disasters due to climate change, you know. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but none of us are happy. At least you won't be until you see his face on your way to your little perfect little mansion. You know, those steps that you take as you record them, when at some point on your journey, he says, this is the time when you have a certain thought. I don't know what the thought is for mine. For me, it was, we're all alone in the universe. There's nothing else out there. It's totally empty in terms of life. It's just us, all the life on earth, and God. It's the big revelation. But anyway, that was mine. Your thought will be something else. It could be, oh, I'm Paul. Boom. And then you see God's face, or whatever it is. He'll select a thought. He already knows, you know, your journey, that you're going through, that you will go through that process, and is planning around it, and things will start to supercharge in your life. I'm talking by like the minute or the hour or the day, not like, oh, things get supercharged over months or years or decades like they do in this broken system. You start to work at God's pace. And it can be overwhelming. It's very exhilarating. You know, when you're on the journey, all you have to do is remember 10 rules, 10 commandments. And, you know, they include things that you wouldn't think of because we're not used to operating this rapidly. For example, the idea of holding the Sabbath. It just means rest. 1 day a week, don't do anything. You need to recharge because the other 6 days, you're kicking ass on that story. But what you'll want to do without that commandment is just go through that story all day long, every day of the week. And if you do that, because you're not resting, you'll get sloppy. God had to rest when he made the earth, or, you know, made the universe, you know, when he created the simulation that we're in. And you will need to rest on your journey. If you've ever worked 7 days in a week and didn't take a break, you'll notice, well, you got depressed, sick, anxious, whatever. Things went wrong in your life. You had arguments with your spouse or with your children because you were overworked. Same thing, same concept, except with your journey, he's taking you there in rapid fashion. I was able to go from where I was at to seeing his face in 9 months. That was without any expectation, without any knowledge of how the system works. Now that it can be articulated, I gotta think that it can happen a lot faster for certain people who are already kind of maybe on that path. They just gotta put a couple, take care of a couple issues. Other people, maybe more like I was, which will take longer. But it's really good if you understand the concept of Scripture, prophecy, God, Judeo-Christian belief for this exercise. And if not, it's okay. You can learn quickly, and that's what my book is designed to do. Not to rewrite the Bible, but as a fulfillment, an extension, or a new book of the Bible, which can act as a template for others to take that journey too. climate change just gives us all, we're on recess right now if you believe in God. So there you go.